Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic, and yep, they're there. They're there. The braces. Oh boy. Today we're going to talk about the compatibility between a Gemini-Cancer cusp and a Leo. Expect your Leo to be under your spell. As a couple, all your friends are under your spell. You have a lot of influence over them for some reason. This connection is incredibly romantic, and you will both feel starstruck for one another. Expect a rush of passion. The honeymoon phase can feel so real that you're convinced that this is how it's going to be forever, and everything will always be this perfect and stable. Don't kid yourself. Nothing is that perfect, and relationships take hard work. Instead of just focusing on what could work for you, make sure that you are thinking about your Leo too, and about what would work for them. You need answers, but it's not just about you. Try to keep your head on your shoulders because emotions will be very strong, and it will be easy to lose your mind in this whirlwind of passion. Leo would also be a blast to be around. Leo is used to being the one who calls the shots. They're feisty, but you have a way of taming their fire. When you hang out with other people, you take them on an exciting ride. You both keep things very interesting. You yourself are enchanting. This is going to feel like true love. What you share is very strong, and you are fiercely passionate about each other. It's intense. When it comes to your values, make sure you stand your ground. Don't let them make you doubt yourself. There may be a slight power struggle that you need to watch out for. You both want to be on top, and without realizing it, you might be competing for that position. You have to balance out your feelings if you want this to work. Don't get too emotional and overwhelming. Try to stay grounded. Being the center of attention is important to the both of you. So you need to be able to share the spotlight, and that might be something that is difficult for you to grasp. Somehow you manage to charm your Leo into submission. You have them wrapped around your finger. You are such a tease. Leo is strong-willed, and they can endure a lot. This is the kind of couple that really focuses on making each other's fantasies come true in life and in the bedroom. You are both very creative and have very strong imaginations, and you take pleasure in turning them into reality. Don't become a pleaser, and don't sacrifice your beliefs to appease them. They are yours. Focus on expansion and support each other's journey forward. There is so much energy circulating between the two of you, and you have to be careful not to overdo it. It can be common for you to experience burnout with a Leo, and that will definitely not help your relationship, especially if it's new and you still don't know each other that well. You like having the spotlight, but you like having a say in how you go about it. It's something that you crave often, so it might be difficult to share your time to shine. The moments when you are taming your Leo's fire is when things will be at their best. Helping others is very important for you both as a couple. It gives you both a purpose, and it creates a powerful energy. Your relationship has a benevolent side. Your Leo is most likely going to worship you and believe in you, even though they are usually the ones who demand that you appreciate them. They are not used to being so charmed by you, and that will probably make you very happy once you have them wrapped around your finger. And you know that they are under your spell. You often become dominant, and you can be bossy. Happiness isn't always the priority. It isn't always the key to making this work. Even if it's important, you need to avoid acting insecure because that will hurt your relationship. There has to be some certainty that things are going to be okay, especially on your end. Don't forget to show compassion to your Leo. It can be confusing for people to understand because you're not necessarily a private person, you know? But you do need your privacy. And this may clash with your Leo. You are very seductive to a Leo. You may exhibit a pushy side that you didn't even know you had. You may try to be the more dominant one. You might be manipulative or overbearing. Most of the time, though, your assertiveness doesn't really affect the relationship in a bad way. In fact, it can make you both very loyal and fiercely protective of one another. One issue that often arises is that your Leo might want to take things slower or rush into things, and they might demand that you move slower or that you move quicker, and you might not be ready or okay with that, and things don't go well. It's better if you don't get too close as friends. Neither one of you should feel responsible at all towards each other. Work on being more patient and tolerant of them. Your Leo would be intrigued by you. Leos aren't necessarily the most touchy-feely zodiac signs in the wheel of zodiacs, you know. There are a lot of other signs that are way more touchy-feely usually, but when you touch a Leo, they melt. Like, they adore it. They are very sensitive to your touch. Your Leo has to be careful to not lose confidence in themselves, and they cannot stop trusting their heart. They're not used to the type of dynamic that they have with you. They're used to being more directional and aggressive. They may have to be careful not to put themselves down or lose their own integrity when they step down from that pedestal and they hand the reins over to you. Besides, that would be very unattractive for you anyway. For any of you who have claimed that sex dies with marriage, you have not met this couple. There is a very lustful dynamic, and it usually stays that way throughout the marriage. Usually it's a very special, sensual connection. There is so much sexual energy that circulates throughout the marriage, so expect to both be enthusiastic about sex. Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun is all about ego. Ego is extremely important for Leos. And being dumped by you or being turned down by you will definitely damage their self-esteem and self-image severely. It's important not to ask too much of your Leo friend and to keep your distance. It may be difficult to work on projects together because you may feel like you have to make too many sacrifices for your Leo to make it work. The important thing is to never talk about who is in charge. This is a conversation that you don't need to have with each other. In fact, it will only bring up problems. So it's something that you might acknowledge, but you don't have to like discuss, because it's when the Leo actually admits that they aren't in control that things get really rough. If they have to say that you are the alpha, then forget it. Don't expect them to say that. That will only bruise that very special ego of theirs, and you want to avoid that. So don't talk about power or who is in charge if you want this to last. Because the truth is, the dynamic that you have with them is actually really good for them. It allows them to breathe and to be themselves more. They aren't used to being so unguarded, so it may take some time to get used to it, but it can really benefit them. Love doesn't just die down with this couple. If you're looking for an everlasting, powerful romance, then this combination is for you. There is a profound bond between the two of you. One thing that you will probably notice is that the Leo can come across as insensitive, and that is not something that you like in a partner. It is a turnoff to you, for sure. When things are unhealthy, you may feel like you depend on your Leo's assertiveness, and you resent them at the same time for it, and it can be really conflicting. In the beginning, when you first meet a Leo, they might come across as cocky or smug, and they'll set very high expectations for you, and then embarrass themselves later by proving that they can't really meet those expectations, and that they're not very realistic, and that they set the bar way too high. As a young married couple, you are usually the one who stays home and really focuses on the household. If you're a stay-at-home parent, like you would be the stay-at-home parent, taking care of the kids probably. It doesn't mean you wouldn't have a home business or run a event planning, business from your home, but it just means that you're probably more focused on the household within your marriage, especially in the beginning. When things don't work out, you are usually the one to end the relationship. Your Leo would be so devoted to you and attached that they would not handle a breakup well at all. Even if it's just you not liking them anymore, Leo would refuse to give up and often go through denial before acceptance. It would take them much longer to move on. Leo might not be able to tolerate how yielding you are. Leo might like to make big promises that they can't keep, and you would probably take advantage of those moments. As a married couple, Leo would probably be the one who's out trying to, make things happen for themselves and make their dreams come true and going on adventures. They're the ones who go out and make the bacon, usually, Don't ever expect your Leo to cheat. That usually isn't an issue here. A friendship between the two of you would work out better when you are different genders. Yeah, they usually tend to be more successful that way. But overall, you have each other's back. This is not a simple relationship. When you share a home together, a household, a Leo might automatically take on the role of the alpha of the home. But everyone knows who's really running the show, wink wink. You humor them though. I don't usually recommend getting married to a Leo for you. And I know I just said all this awesome stuff about marriage for you, and yeah, obviously the cards are in your favor in a lot of ways with marriage. It sounds fantastic, but like I said, this is a very complex couple. And the success rate of marriages between the two is not great. So even though there's all this awesomeness and it sounds fantastic, just remember that the success is not usually in the cards in the end, True love doesn't mean happily ever after. I think people confuse that. Leo might come across as detached from time to time, but you are the glue that keeps them together and sticks them back into reality. You have a way of subtly manipulating the situation so that the Leo does what you want them to do. Whether you realize it or not, you're probably doing that if you're in a relationship with them. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. You both feel emotions in different ways, and you can't really compare your hearts because you both work them so differently. Thank you so much for watching this video. Yes, please subscribe to my channel if you were born on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, or if you are a Leo, then please let me know in the comment section below what you think. Have you dated each other? Do you know anyone on this combination? If you're not on this combination, like if you're not one of these signs, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know. Yes, and tune in for more.